It's time for more VB MMA picks for Dana White's Contender Series, Week 2, Season 9 for Tuesday, August 19th. VB, we saw last week only 2 contracts awarded. Only 2 weeks in the history of the Dana White Contender Series have been less than 2 contracts awarded. One of them was back in Season 1. Let's hope we have some better fights this week. We've got some lopsided lines, but we have the man of Gordo joining us today, VB, to help break us down these 5 fights for Tuesday night. Going to be a better week, VB, than those fighters had last week?
I think so. I think it's going to be a better week for everybody, For me also. I lost 1 unit last week. Nothing big, but, I could have made some money. Little bit more luck. I need Susurkai to get to round 2. He was close to getting round 2, but he finished it with the body kick in round 1. And some other plays I played. I don't really regret anything that much, but some good bets, some bad bets overall. It's still week 1, and we have 9 more weeks. So a lot of research to be done. A lot of fights, are gonna happen. Maybe they're gonna find another Susurkai or another big, prospect. We'll see. And people usually take their time to research this card, so it's harder to find guests, but I want to thank Gordo for joining here. He did the research early and super appreciated, And yeah, let's talk about this fights. We have decent card. I think this card is better than last week's personally. Some competitive fights here, and overall, in my opinion, better fight prospects on this card. Overall.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Gordo, was it a bad card or just bad matchups last week? You think maybe we were rewarded with Sir Kayev after seeing what he did on Saturday night?
Yeah, crazy to see him get such a quick turnaround. But no, that's sometimes been the trend with Dana White Contender Series. I myself actually did not come out in the green, I'll be honest with you. But the past 3 years, I've lost week 1 and still continued to win the rest of the weeks. Last year, lost week 1, finished 8 out of 10 weeks with profit. So, you just take them one at a time. And I just love this time of year. The fact that we're out here talking fights on a Sunday before a huge Tuesday card, life is good, man. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you for having me on, and I'm ready to talk some fights here.
All right, let's do it. VB MMA Picks is brought to you by SXBet, the world's largest blockchain betting exchange. Okay, let's get right to the action here, and we're going to go through all 5 fights. We'll start here, Gordo, with featherweights, 25-year-old Tommy Kuozi from New York. He fights out of North Carolina. He's 8-0, 7-0 in Ultimate Battle, where he recently won a belt with a first-round knockout. He's up against 26-year-old Mexican Ramiro Jimenez from Mexicali, a 10-0, 6-0 amassed in Combate Global, where he won a title in 23, but he hasn't had a professional fight in 21 months. What do you think of these featherweights, Gordo?
I do think this is a fun one. I think it's going to be one that is going to help bring that energy back up for Dana White Contender Series that maybe we lacked a bit last week. You look at someone like Coyote, and he is a bigger underdog here, but he is still somebody who, he fights at a really high pace. He has fought a low level of competition, but he has gone out there and handled them accordingly. He goes out there super aggressive, swings really early, and then he goes out there and he's able to use those forced exchanges to get there into the clinch, get takedowns that way as well, and some pretty solid ground and pound. He is a very aggressive fighter. We haven't really seen him face too much adversity against a low level of competition, but he does look like a very aggressive round 1 fighter. He is someone who does train out of a family gym and has been training since a very young age. He had his first amateur fight at 14 years old. So the guy is definitely someone who is a lifelong mixed martial artist. And although we don't really have the largest profile on the guy, he rates out as a very aggressive, forward-pressing boxer with decent power, decent offensive grappling game. It's just we haven't really seen that tested against high-level competition or extended into later fight. How's his resiliency? We're not too sure, although he does look like a pretty good offensive fighter, decent back take there as well. Jimenez, he seems to be the social media A side here. He's got more followers on Instagram, 15,000 followers over there as well. And although he hasn't fought in, 21 months, he looks to be training at the UFC PI. So a young kid, also able to go out there and work in his game as well. He doesn't have that same early explosiveness as someone like Koza, but once he settles in, he also has plenty of first-round finishes. He is also very explosive there as well. And he showed that he has also a really good ability to go out there and strike. I do think he is the better technical striker of the two, and we have seen him face some adversity. We've seen him dropped early and fight through it. We've seen him taken down and get back up, and he has seen that we have. For him, we have a larger sample size against a high level of competition and against the cardio there as well. So to me, when you rate out this fight as a whole, I do think Koza could go out there and be the real deal. We just have not really seen that at a high clip. So I think the line is wide in terms of the fact that Kaosi will go forward. He'll pressure early, throw big shots. And we have seen Hamir as kind of hurt early on. But I do think the longer the fight goes, the more technical fighter who I expect to win the minutes and probably break down some of the Kaosi who hasn't really fought adversity is probably be Ramirez. So this is a spot where I picked Ramirez hesitantly. I do think the line is kind of wide that way as well. And I'd more so be inclined to look towards an under here.
All right, VB, I'm not chuckling when Gordo talks about the social media influencers in the fight game because I think the fans kind of know when they see up-and-comers who are doing the work, and maybe they haven't had those fights in a while, but they still got a great following, as long as they're doing it for the right reasons, showing their workouts and things like that. VB?
Yeah, I mean, people look at those like followers and stuff. It's probably can tell you who UFC wants to win and who is the side in that sense.
Point too.
Yeah, it's like a good measurement for that. And I sometimes look at it too, who is a big star and stuff. But like for example, last week this guy Idiris, I think had a lot of followers, but he didn't win. You know what I mean? UFC does even Pico. Like I think UFC wanted Pico, but they don't always get what they want, in my opinion. So it's still a fist fight. I mean, people can get caught. Sometimes 1 inch decides who gets knocked out and who doesn't, So it's like hard to predict this sport because of that. It's one of the crazier sports, to predict. So, if you look at this guy Tommy, like, he's explosive. He's all over the place. He like throws crazy stuff. He up kicks people when he's on his back. He tries to finish you early, but we have not seen him ever tested. We have not seen him in round 3 ever. Maybe when he was amateur, he was going to round 3. Most of the time, he was tired. He was losing those fights for the most part. When I looked at the line at first glance, I was like, he looks a little bit wide. But then you look at deeper, like Ramiro looks to be bigger guy. He looks to be more physical. He looks to be more conditioned, more well trained, better coached guy. Yeah, Kaosi can catch him early, and that's what this show is all about. Knock somebody out or something like. You know what I mean? Sometimes those guys win. Who are around or bust, and then in the UFC they get kind of exposed. At this level they may get a few flukes and stuff, but I think Ramiro is pretty durable. I don't think he's easy to knock out. He's been dropped, but he recovers fast, and also, as Gordo mentioned, he's in PI, and he's a bigger guy. So when you look at this fight closely, yeah, it looks wide on the line, but then I look at this like fight. It goes later. Ramiro wins early. He can also win. Takedowns. He could probably hit takedowns too. So it's like the win condition for Kaosi is like round 1 knockout. You know what I mean? At this point, like that's what I think it is. The under here is not bad. Minus 185. It looks juicy, but I think it probably goes under more than not. So outside with as far as money line Ramiro and the under, probably I would bet the under. I'm also interested to see what round 1 Tommy knockout is. If it's a crazy line, I may sprinkle. I want to say 2-3 also for Ramiro. I think he can slow Kaosi down here and get him in 2-3. So
the under is also 2.5 rounds too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what he was pointing at. 2.5 over 2, about 225 or so. I have the 1.5 listed down there, but that's what he was referring to, huh?
Yeah, I see 2.5. Yeah, maybe I'm.
Yep. I can get you whatever line you'd like.
It's fine, but again, I think Ramiro is more likely to win in round 2, in round 3, and by decision. And in round 1, probably I would give the edge to Kaosi if it's early finish. But I wouldn't say like Ramiro doesn't have a chance early. Like he for sure has. And Tommy has been dropped, and Ramiro also has been dropped. So it's like I like the under, and probably I'm gonna play either 2-3 Ramiro, maybe both even, maybe 2-3 Ramiro and Tommy knockout round 1, And also I'm waiting for the face-off here because if Ramiro is super jacked, then I'm gonna go big on him. Maybe I may just take ITD. I just need to see the props what they come out. But I like violence here under, and if you're betting Tommy, I would take him by round 1 knockout or pass. Personally.
All right, for sure. So
also one more thing I forgot to mention, like this guy Tommy actually trains in a gym that I never heard of. Like I think his father is his coach.
It's a family gym.
right? Like it's
Okay.
it's a gym that like is named after his like last name, like Kamikozi or something. Like he has a weird thing going on. There are no real pro fighters in there. It's all amateurs, amateurs, amateurs. Like basically amateur gym almost. So it's not a good look for that. And on the other hand, we have Ramiro, who's training with really good fighters. He's at Goat Shed. There is like, Jillian Roberts actually shout out to Gordo, and Aileen Perez and Montes, the guy who for last year in Contenders, and all these guys who are some of them are in the UFC, and some of them are making their way to the UFC. But it's a good gym in general. So
He's also at the PI as well, so
yeah,
it's a battle of UFC PI versus home gym with his parents kind of thing.
yeah. Again, it's not a good look to be coached by your father and don't have any real like adversity in the gym. He's training with people like who are like 1-1 amateurs. It's hard to learn how to, you know what I mean, how to be in a crazy round 2, round 3s in the UFC like that. If you don't get tested in the gym, you gotta be ready for that kind of stuff. So even though Cozy has been doing his thing at this level, he may struggle. So we'll see.
All
I've
right.
been talking about this first fight for too long, though. It's a
All right.
really pro level fight.
All right, no problem. Let's go here. Well, as we can tell from last week, like I said, I mean, they just didn't do enough, those fighters last week. To it almost as if White was disgusted at the end of the show there in that interview
Yeah,
there.
I actually don't blame him. I agree with everything that Dan said. To be honest,
Hmm.
there's not much I disagree with. Even the main event last week pissed me off. Like that guy Ilian was not throwing anything. I don't know how he won 2 and 3. He literally didn't land a punch in round 3. I don't know how one judge gave him a round without landing a punch. It's like first ever or something. It was crazy. And the card sucked, man. I think this card is gonna be much better. I think we're gonna have more finishes. But 2 underdogs did come through though last week. So um, you know, if you had your you know underdogs, you probably made some money. I actually had Radley who won, but yeah.
Yeah, Bradley. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one here, Gordo. We've got 27-year-old Josh Hockett from Clovis, California, fights out of Fresno. He's 5-0 and 3-0 in the LFA, 2-0 in Bellator, all finishes. Comes in off of an LFA win back in May at minus 1,200. In fact, all 5 of his bouts in these 2 organizations were minus 700 or better or higher with Hockett. He's up against 28-year-old Guilherme Uriel from Brazil. He fights out of Sao Paulo, 6-1, 4-1 in the LFA. Comes in off of a round 1 knockout win in February as a minus 175 favorite. His lone loss came via round 1 knockout in November of 23 as a $2 favorite. So, well, these guys have been in LFA and Bellator. Sounds okay. What do you got, Gordo? Heavyweights.
Yeah, I do think this is an interesting one here as well. You watch Uriel fight, it's pretty entertaining. He goes out there and he just throws caution to the wind. It just wants to take your head off kind of thing. He will go forward, he will throw down, leave himself some openings there as well, but he wants to go out there and swing and bang, and it makes it a pretty entertaining matchup. By doing that, though, he also leaves himself to be hit, and his cardio is certainly definitely there in question. And I saw him tire in a few minutes there early as well, but he is someone who is going to go forward there. And although he can look to wrestle as well, he seems to be someone who is just looking to crash forward and land the bigger shots. Josh Hockett is more of that familiar name. We joked around about the social media presence, but when we look at him, you got a guy here with over 50,000 followers, and Hockett, the more known name, the more A side of this matchup, I would argue, and someone who not only has fought on Bellator and LFA as mentioned, but a former NFL player, someone they like to market there as well, and a guy who is more of that athlete. He has had success taking people down and really having his way with them on top position. And he has been decently positioned over submission a lot of these times here, which I do like to see. I don't think he is some ace on the mat. He's more wrestling oriented, but a technical striker. He's looking to get people down early and implement his will. He has the ability to go out there, advance position decently, a decent crucifix and armbar series there as well that he's been able to use. And I do think he's been able to beat this lower level of competition. So when I look at this matchup, I do think that although Hook is probably more technical on the feet, Uriel's probably going to win the optics just by going forward and swinging heavy. And we have seen these Bellator LFA guys struggle against pressure and in different spots. But I do think it's only a matter of time before Hoka gets a takedown early. And the longer this fight goes, I favor the athlete with probably better cardio. I know I haven't seen it too often against a guy in Uriel who has tired out pretty quickly. So I think Uriel has a chance to clip him early, but if not, Hokit will get for the takedowns and look to implement as well with him on the mat. I think Hokit wins, and I do think he is the fighter brought in here to succeed.
All right, BB, this is supposed to be Hockett's easiest bout of his career if you go by the line, or toughest, I should say.
I mean, he was I think, bigger favorite. I mean, he was a massive favorite in all of his fights, really, and minus 1200 last fight from Logan. So, yeah, he probably the toughest fight if you look at the line because it's minus 400, not 1200.
Still 400. That's my point.
Yeah. So, Uriel is a guy who is going to come out here and brawl. Like, that's pretty much his game. Like, he comes out and throws. And, I mean, that's pretty much it with this guy. Like, he's a good brawler early, but he's so hittable. It's like he gets hurt all over the place, by guys who are, like, negative records and stuff, So it's not easy to fight Hackett, like that and overextend and not get taken down, Like, Hackett is going to take him down, I think. Uriel on top is actually not bad. He has some skills on top, but I don't think he is getting on top here. So one thing that Hackett does very well is as one-dimensional wrestle. I think his cardio is pretty good for a heavyweight too. And I just don't see how Uriel gets up if Hackett gets on top. I think he has no hope of getting up. He's gonna be flattened out, I think, on his back. And Hackett is gonna be landing big strikes. Also, as Gordon mentioned, Hackett is talking some smack. I saw his last fight. He was cutting some promos in there. I not a big fan of not the best promo, to be honest. But he's from Clovis, California, like Colby, so he's trying to be like Colby or something. I don't know. But I just think that he's the guy that's gonna get this done. Whether if it's 2-3 or decision or whatever, I don't know. I think it's probably under 1.5 is the bet, but it could go over easily. It could be Hackett landing on this guy for 8-9 minutes and then trying to open up, then trying to finish him, because Uriel needs to be like taken down and slowed down a little bit before you can like do damage to him, because he's gonna be throwing some huge shots here. So I think Hackett is gonna be smart in that sense, that kind of slow him down, get him to like round 2, round 3, and then open up and get a ground and pound or sub. So I'm gonna take Hackett here, and trying to be Colby, heavyweight Colby or something. Next heavyweight Colby is coming. I don't mind it, but again, UFC desperately needs a heavyweight, who is a little bit more marketable and this and that. So Hackett may be a guy that can get behind. So interesting guy. I think he's a good wrestler, as Gordo mentioned. Better athlete, So I can't fade him in this spot. Again, Uriel, I've never been high on him. I bet him actually once, I think, in LFA he won, but usually not the guy I want to back. He has one round cardio, to be my opinion, and Hackett has good cardio for a heavyweight. So I'm taking Hackett by probably round, I would say maybe 2 ground and pound, maybe TKO, or you could put him on a crucifix or he could sub him. So round 2, I think, is where finish happens, for Hackett here, in my opinion. Could be round 2, could be round 1 also, but something tells me Uriel is going to be a little bit dangerous early and Hackett is going to play it safe. So maybe I'm wrong, but I wouldn't be super confident with the under, But I lean to what you think the 2-3 is going to be, Gordon? Like, I don't think it's going to be very good, right? Like,
it might be better than you think with it being juiced to the under here. So if it's expected to go end in round 1, you might get some decent number on round 2 and 3 if it's not expected to last that long.
Yeah, I mean, if I get like plus 400, I don't think I'll play it. But if it's a little bit better than that, like 700, maybe I may play it.
I think if I just guess, I think you'd get plus 800 at round 3.
I don't know. I will see what happens. I think that Hackett sub is interesting look if it's a good line too. So let's wait for more props and go from there. But for money line side, again, Uriel kind of similar to the last fight, even though it's a heavyweight. I think round 1 or past. He could sub him if he hurts him. I don't think he will, but yeah, round 1 for Uriel is again all is win equity in my opinion. Like literally all. So give me Hackett here. Pretty confident, to be honest, that he wins.
All right, good job, BB. Yeah, Clovis is a lovely place, BB. Is when you're going to the Yosemite National Forest and see the Sierra Nevadas. It's pretty spectacular. Uh, let's go, BB. Next up, bantamweights here. 25-year-old Lewis Lee Scott. He's from the UK. He's from Leeds. He's 9-0, 1-0 in the PFL. That was back in 23. Does come in off of a pair of wins in Aries Fighting Championships, including a round one sub win in February, as a minus 125 favorite. Did a nice job there. He's up against a 27-year-old Kashik Sakumar from India, but he fights out of Falls Church, Virginia. He's 5-0, 2-0 in Caged Fury, including a round 3 knockout last October. BB, you got bantamweights here.
Yeah, this is the only bet I have so far, and I will explain what I did. So I take this fight. I actually have bet on Louis Scott a couple times. He's a good fighter, and he's been looking better and better. Like he actually fought a very good fighter last fight. This guy Binate, who was a good big prospect. He was able to finish him. I'm pretty sure the fight was pick him going in. Before that, he fought Demarte Pena, a guy who wrestles pretty heavy. Demarte goes for like million takedowns every fight. Doesn't do a lot of damage, Demarte. So Louis Scott was able to defend takedowns, learn a lot of volume, do all kinds of good stuff. I like Louis Scott. I think he does very well with wrestlers, people who are low volume, and I think he's a future like maybe top 15 guy even. He reminds me of Loner Kavanagh actually a lot. When I look at him, his style reminds me of Loner Kavanagh. Loner Kavanagh is more physical though, a little bit more physical. Like Loner can maybe wrestle a little bit better. But Louis Scott is so good, man. His volume is crazy. He throws like a couple hundred strikes in some of these fights, and he doesn't get tired. And I look at the other guy, this guy Sakimar. I think it's kind of too early for him. He's very early into his career. Like he's couple fights in, and he needs to be maybe 8, 9 fights in to get this chance. Like it's too early. Like he's been pro for 2 years. Like you can't become UFC level fighter in 2 years. It's very hard, in my opinion. And he's a good striker. He has good knees. He has good head kicks, but his cardio again questionable. He's very hittable. Yeah, Louis Scott is better literally everywhere here. He can take him down. He can sub him. He can knock him out. He can put volume in him. I don't think it goes for decision. I think Louis Scott will get a finish. So I'm very confident here in Louis Scott. I would put him in a parlay if you want to guys do that. I laid this chalk, almost minus 400, and I feel pretty confident about this one. I think that again, this is for Kaushik. It's too early. He needs to be fighting a little bit more. He fought some okay fighters like last 2 fights. This guy Adamu is not bad, but it was competitive, and I think that he probably needs to develop more. It's too early. He just hasn't seen anything, in MMA. So give me Louis Scott, very experienced guy at this point, for 25 minutes against legit fighters, and is it a Manchester top team, which last night we saw what Leon Murphy did, for Manchester top team, another fighter, and great gym, good fighter. Not many holes in his game. I think way to beat Louis Scott is probably wrestling though, right? Like if you're more physical than him and take him down, you can probably control him and tire him out. But this guy Psychomar is poor striker, like it's hard. It's gonna be hard for him to beat Scott. If anything, Scott probably can take him down, in this spot. So I'm pretty confident in Scott, and I think he will finish him probably in round 2 and 3. Could be round 1, but I think Scott is gonna take his time to finish him. So I like a lot of 2-3s in this card. Actually, last week I didn't, but on this card I like a lot of 2-3 finishes. So Louis Scott is my pick here, my only bet so far.
All right, Gordo. Yeah, I mentioned Sai Kumar. UFC's kind of hinted they'd love to try to find or be able to promote a quality fighter from India. There have been a few, I think, in the UFC. I'm thinking of Jubilee, maybe. But I know they've longed for an Indian contender. But like BB said, these are just prospects.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, when I came out here and I saw a plus 300 Indian fighter, yeah, I wasn't expecting the most. They haven't really had the most success here in the UFC, and I don't think he's actually that horrible. I've seen a lot worse, let's say that, but he does train out there with Ryan Hall. He does have some solid back takes. He does look to be like a decent grappler, and for the weight class, he's got a pretty decent frame. But he looks to be someone who is very tentative on the feet. I wasn't the biggest fan of his striking. He is too patient and willing to counter, so that he'll kind of take the back foot. And if he's not able to have too much success with his wrestling, I do fear for him. And when I'm looking at someone like Louis Lee Scott and I saw the tape, I'm like, okay, first thing I want to see is, can this guy defend a takedown, and will he accept the front foot? Will he separate himself in the striking? And that's exactly what he does. Louis Lee Scott has multiple fights where he's been out there and shown he can defend takedowns. He's fighting out of a great camp with Manchester top team. And on the feet, he's always throwing something out there. Plenty of activity, plenty of volumes, decent experience as well over at Aries. I do think this guy not only has shown the ability to go forward at a high clip, but have the cardio to back it, much better optics on the feet, and I think he can defend the takedown. So, although I do think that Sycamar's best path is probably a back take and forcing scrambles, maybe he's training with Ryan Hall enough to the point where he's gonna, do an Imanari roll into something. But I do think more times than not, he does get backed up, he does get put all in the cage, and relies too much in his tall man defense type of counter striking that I do think Louis Lee Scott takes advantage of, with plenty of volume and very good striking to back. So I like this 25-year-old fighting on a Manchester top team. I do think Scott wins here as well. I just think it's a decent stylistic matchup for him here as well. And I like the fact that I've seen him not only be extended, but also continue to defend takedowns. I think he has some success here.
All right, thanks, Gordo. And we got
and also, like, I gotta mention one more thing with Louis Scott. His amateur record was very impressive. He has fought a lot of good fighters as an amateur, And if you look at like complete MMA record, like 15 fights as an amateur, 9 fights as a pro, like 24 fights. And again, this guy Kaushik has been a pro for like 2 years and with 5 fights, and like 3 of them were 1 minute, 2 minute fights. You know what I mean? It's like one guy spent like 5-6 hours in the cage, and the other guy spent maybe like 15 minutes, in the cage. It's like the experience gap here is enormous, like the things that Louis Scott already knows and how to, defend takedowns. His get-up game, in my opinion, is better than his takedown defense, so like it's a huge gap here in skill, in my opinion, huge gap in experience. Like, let's see, like Kaushik gets big moment early. I don't think he will like close it out, I think it's just Louis Scott season here. And do you see, Gordo, what I see with like Lonir Kavanagh and Scott, like similarity, or it's maybe too early to compare to Lonir? But
yeah, no, always throwing out volume, fighting that good in and out bouncing style, and very solid boxing. I like it. I don't think he has the same grappling and offensive wrestling as someone like Kavanagh, but I do like the activity I see from him.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, let's move on here now and take a look at a couple of middleweights here, Gordo. You have 28-year-old Brandon Holmes out of South Carolina. He's undefeated at 5-0, including a round 3 knockout win over a former Contender Series loser, Borrego, and that was back in May. He's up against 30-year-old Cameron Rouston from Sydney, Australia. He's 11-3. 0-1 in the DWCS back in 24, where he lost to Finney. Since then, he racked up 3 wins, including 2 in Eternal MMA. His last bout was in February. Gordo, these are middleweights.
Yes, first of all, I got to mention Rouston, Battle Draft nickname, sick nickname. You got to give him bonus points for that. I love it. But this is someone we have seen already in Cam Rouston. He did lose to Torres Finney last time, which was a very funny visual matchup between a guy who was the Battle Draft. He's tall versus the very short Torres Finney. That was very interesting. But we have seen this guy before. He trains at a city kickboxing. He's someone who does have decent length. He does have that tall man defense where he does lean back, but someone who can mix it up with strikes and kicks and also wrestle offensively, something he couldn't do against someone like Torres Finney, of course, but maybe something he can implement here. Is actually a short notice replacement for someone like Brandon Holmes, who is coming in here about a week. So at least he has some time to prepare a little bit. And Holmes as well, undefeated. He is someone who I do think is a solid boxer. I see solid of decent 1-2s, decent power, ability to take the front foot, but he is pretty meat and potatoes with that. He will go forward and rely on that wrestling. He's shown that he is hittable, but has a great ability to fight through and have some resolve. He was recovering quickly, even though being dropped by Zach Borrego in that matchup there that I was actually a pretty fun one with plenty of knockdowns. But you showed the ability to go out there and fight through adversity, recover pretty quick, and utilize some good boxing. He himself can also wrestle offensively, but again, meat and potatoes, I haven't really seen too much of it, to be honest, that I have my questions about it. But what we have here in the grand scheme of things, the guy here at Holmes who, again, I'm going to keep bringing it up. The shortest and smallest amount of social media presence on the card, lowest amount of followers. I have more followers than the guy. Come on. A guy who was going out there and fighting on a week's notice, who is limited to that boxing. So when you have a guy here in Roaston who was originally supposed to be in the card, a guy who was kind of prioritized towards the card, who has more weapons than the boxing. He can box as well, but also can kick, also can wrestle. And a fighter who's training out of city kickboxing with a decent crowd around him, I'm going to pick the dog here in Cameron Rouston. Now, is there a world where Holmes is able to land the more powerful boxing shots and maybe even knock out Rouston? Potentially, but Rouston has more weapons. He will throw more kicks. And I do think he's the more likely of the two to wrestle offensively. So I don't think neither of these guys are future world champs. I just think the guy in front of me here in Rouston was expected to be on this card and someone who I do think has more tools to get this one done. So I will take the dog here. And I'm kind of surprised to see him at the dog considering the short notice nature of it.
And especially with his nickname, the Battle Giraffe, BB. This guy's my favorite. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This fight is so tough to read for me, because I don't like either of these guys. I'll say it right now. I don't think they are good at all. Like, maybe Brandon even has more upside than this guy Cameron. Like, Cameron is what he is at this point. He's a tall guy, tall kickboxer. His takedown defense is okay, not very good. And his get-up game is, I guess, also okay. Torres Ring took him down a lot of times, but didn't do any damage. Was able to bang 2 rounds. The fight was whatever. I wasn't impressed with Finney. And to this day, I'm not impressed by Vinny. And with Roston, same thing. Like, he's a finished product, and I don't think he's very good, to be honest. I don't think he has much power in his hands. His kicks are decent. Usually when he gets like this finishes, like a club and sub finishes or back takes, and maybe he can hurt Holmes, but he doesn't really have that much power in his hands. So if Cameron wins, it's probably by decision, And if Holmes wins, he could catch Roston. I think the Tolman defense may come into play here and he may get dropped a couple of times or something, Thing about Holmes is, like, I watch his fights. He starts slow sometimes, but his takedown defense looked okay. I don't think Roston is going to get him down. Like, Borrego fight was good look. He dropped Borrego in round 1. He dropped him again in round 2. In round 3, he finished him. So there was a lot of things that I liked in that fight. He has a lot of power in his hands compared to Cameron. I think he has more power, Like, I think he has more chance to, like, one punch knock out Roston than Roston has against him, So even though I do think he has more power in his hands, he's a little bit better boxer, and he's more, like, durable. He wants to, like, go forward and stuff. I still think it's short notice. He can get tired there, and he gets sloppy, and he's kind of too heatable for me, Like, he just goes forward, like, but sometimes doesn't throw enough, he can be low volume, So all those things tell me this probably goes over, and probably it's gonna be Roston by close fight, maybe. But I can also see like Holmes getting a finish too. So it's like, if it goes over, it could go either way. But one guy has a finishing upside, and maybe that's why he's a small favorite. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Holmes here, but again, it's not a huge disagreement with Gordo. It's the fighter I'm not betting. I don't think either of these guys are UFC level. Honestly, they couldn't be farther from the UFC level. They're both pretty bad. Maybe Holmes, if you give him some time, he can develop into a better fighter than even Cameron, maybe. But yeah, as far as Cameron goes, if he gets to the UFC, I'm gonna fade him almost every fight. He's not like Navajo Sterling or those guys who are good city kickboxing prospects. He's not close to them, in my opinion. He's too heatable. He doesn't really have much power in his hands, and he has a good nickname. I will give him that, but that's pretty much it. As far as good goes with this guy. So yeah, I'm gonna take Holmes, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if Roston pisses him up and wins the decision either. But we'll see what the knockout line is on Holmes. If Holmes knockout is something crazy, I'm gonna play it. Pretty simple. So this card for me is gonna come down to what kind of props we're gonna have, probably. This fight, money line wise, keep me away from this fight. I'm not betting anybody here.
Stop on these $4 favorites, guys. If you go out there with a mediocre performance, that's costing you. You go up in a pick'em situation, you take care of your guy, you might find yourself with the contract, even if you're not the better of the fighters on that evening. But that's just, and I don't know if there'll be pressure now with only 2 contracts last week. It was just funny last year where you had all those 4 and 5 contracts every week. Okay.
I think last year, Ramon, like first 2 episodes were much better than these first 2 episodes. If you look at the prospects. So I think it's a little bit step down from last year. They're bringing people who are like a little bit more experienced, like some of these guys, but like there are fighters who are already fighting, like Panfero last week. I don't know why you would bring him back. The guy is where he is, he's not the UFC level. Like he won, but whatever, like they're bringing these guys back who are not good. So they're kind of filling these cards at this point a little bit. You know what I mean? But this guy even like Roston, he's a good fighter, but like UFC level fighter, like at this point, what's your UFC level fighter? You know what I mean? They have like people who are not very good in the UFC these days. But yeah, it's like I don't know, man. It's like last year, like a couple years ago, like Sean O'Malley's of the world, like those guys, so many good fighters, but now it's like sometimes setup fights and set up somebody who's supposed to lose wins and somebody who, you know what I mean, and they get signed and they lose in the UFC and all this stuff and yeah, and El Bujo is right, these two guys are bad, he says coin flip fight, yeah. I agree.
Hey, last year we started off the season with Loner Kavanaugh, I think was the first fight
Yeah.
of the season. And
That's what
now
I'm
we
saying.
start off this year with Chris Ewart and Yuri Panfarov. So I don't know.
Like, oh man, so bad.
Was funny in the post fight last week, and basically Dana was telling the producer, get off this guy, go to the next. Don't even show him. All right, let's get to the main event here, VB, with featherweights. In this one, you've got 25-year-old Manuel Exposito from Cordoba, Argentina. He's 13-2. He's won 3 straight, including a couple in Budo Cento Championship. You guys have to tell me about that. He's up against 28-year-old Brazilian from Rio de Janeiro, Jose Moro Delano. He's 15-3, he's 6-1 in the LFA, including 3 straight wins, VB, and a round 1 knockout back in February as a minus 225 favorite. So I see a guy from LFA and I see a guy from Budo Cento Championship. You guys got to fill in the blanks for me.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, Bujo. Now I know Bujo is owl in Spanish, so thank you, man. But learning something every day. Here's the thing. I mean, I actually like both of these guys. I could argue both of them are UFC level. For sure, whoever wins is gonna get signed, in my opinion, even if it's by decision, because both guys are decent here. Delano, man, he's been grinding out LFA fights. He's been winning. He lost couple. But he's been in there with some good fighters in LFA. He's fought very good competition in LFA. A lot of these guys he fought and lost to are in the UFC, like a guy like Gabriel Santos. I actually bet Gabriel Santos in that fight. And don't forget, man, Gabriel Santos was plus 250 against this guy. So that's how high market was on Delano at that point. You know what I mean? And even now, look at this line, minus 425. There is not much things that Delano doesn't do well. He has good striking. His takedown defense is very good. Last fight looked incredible. He goes to the body very well. He's a good boxer. He has decent chin too, in my opinion, even though he got knocked out by Gabriel Santos. Again, Gabriel Santos is an explosive fighter. I think the only guy who, in my opinion, beat Leon Murphy, for last night. And he should have won against Murphy. So, he's been fighting very good fighters. This guy Bilarino is decent. He also won in Contender Series. Again, a lot of these Brazilians he fought and beat are decent, this guy, last guy he fought, this guy Abu, like, this guy came out there, like, he wanted to take Delano down, but he wasn't even close. Delano lit him up like a Christmas tree, and kind of fraud checked him, to be honest, and the guy probably never fights again the way he lost. He got totally embarrassed. It was crazy how good his takedown defense and striking looked. So I was impressed with Delano. He's very good, man. Like, on the ground, he's decent. He has good back takes. If you overextend, he's going to make you pay. He goes to the body. His wrestling is good. Like, there is not much I don't like about him, like, right now, ready to go, I think he's also low right now. So I'm not surprised they're bringing him here. Like, I remember when I watched his last fight, I think I watched it live. I was thinking, yeah, for sure, this guy's either going to get signed or I'm going to see him in the Contender Series. Here he is. So I was right about that. But the other guy, like this guy, Manuel, he's a good fighter. He has good jiu-jitsu. Best thing about him is, in my opinion, jiu-jitsu. He has good sweeps and stuff. A little bit, I want to say fragile, but he's hittable and he gets busted up a lot, in these fights. And how can I say, like, Delano is the guy I trust more to take bigger shots. If he gets dropped, he'll get up and keep fighting. this guy Manuel, if he gets dropped, he may get stopped, here. So
Mhm.
even though I think the line is a little bit wide, I do think Delano is just too well rounded for him. Expose the power needs a club and sub or some kind of crazy scramble and a sub or gating maybe or something to win this. What Delano can outpoint him, he can knock him out, he can go to the body and stop him late. So I actually like Delano here to get a win. I don't think I'll lay this price because Exposito is a pretty good fighter. And I think one day we may see him in the UFC also. He may win this fight and get signed, but I don't think he will get it done here. I do think he will improve though. He's 25 years old, so he has a lot of time to improve, and maybe next year he's gonna be back. This is the guy I think they should bring back because he has some potential, not like Panfero and this like all these guys, But Exposito is not bad, But yeah, I'm gonna take Delano here, and if knockout is anything lower than like Beckham, I probably will be interesting. If ITD is like minus 150, 180, I think it's good, But maybe Exposito is tough enough to survive. But yeah, Delano by power decision if it's competitive. But again, early finish for Delano will not shock me either, And the under is pick 'em, So yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Like, you think it goes under or Gordo? Probably it's at least goes to round two. My guess would be this fight hits round two at minimum, But
Yeah, I'll be completely honest with you. This is the fight that I've done the least amount of research on. I still managed to watch a couple of them, and Delano does look impressive. I do remember a little bit from LFA, in and out movement, pretty good. Exposito just looks to be someone who is going to look to crash the pocket, look to get those
yeah,
takedowns. So with I don't want to stereotype, but I haven't seen Exposito's knockout loss. But the fact that he's an Argentinian prospect, he typically are more durable. So I do think this is one that could be extended. But when I look into pick a side in this one, it seems to be one where Exposito is going to be needing those takedowns. The better striker, in my opinion, better in and out movement is Delano. He did look pretty slick from what I have seen. So I do think it's going to be up to Exposito to see if he can muscle him to the ground and have some success. He is a BJJ black belt. Exposito is 7-0 to the sub. So maybe there is some potential route to success on the mat. But Delano looked to have some decent takedown defense, ability to scramble himself. So it feels like Delano just has the more well-rounded skill set. He does have much more technicality on the feet, in my opinion. I think he's just going to be the first one to the shots, the quicker striker, more straight shots rather than the loopy power shots from like Exposito just looking to close distance. So whereas I think there's a path in the wrestling, I think it's a slim margin of victory, and more times than not, the more modern fighter in Delano is able to take over. Again, I need to do more research, and this is the one that I take the least to see what my prop leans would be, but just based off of the couple fights I've seen, I think Delano decision is probably the way it's most likely to be.
yeah, Exposito is tough, but again, I don't rule out a knockout for Delano because Exposito.
Oh, just lost BB there for a moment. We'll get him back, I'm sure. Gordo, can you tell me about the Budo Centro and maybe some of Manuel's history prior to that in the organization? Because to me, that looks like a bit of a mismatch, and it is reflective in the odds. And another thing I mentioned when these dogs come through with an upset, a lot of times they get the contract there as long as they have a stronger, a decent performance, especially pull off the upset. Do you know much about? I know you said it was the least amount of research, but you may have looked at his PPs there.
Sorry, what were you asking the question of?
BB's back here also.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Go on, Gordo.
Well, BB, I was asking Gordo, could you guys inform me a little bit about Exposito prior to the Budo Cento? I mean, 15 fights, and he's in this a big fight, and you guys are giving him a shot here, certainly as a $3 dog. Where does some of his experience come from that has earned him this spot, if you would? And I also mentioned to Gordo, and speaking about BB, what I said about how they win their contracts, and sometimes the favorites have it up against them. If they earn it, you said either of these guys would get it, even if Delano earns a decision. But a lot of times a $4 favorite, if they don't go in there and take care of business, they're going to be left without a contract. Whereas a guy like Exposito or a $3 dog can pull off the upset and sometimes earn that contract on that alone.
Yeah, should I answer or Gordo should go on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was pretty much just going to mention it's more so record and optics and who he's out there fighting with. He did lose to Tommy Garcia, a guy that oh my god, I'm forgetting the name from the first fight. That also is fighting on this card. Oh, what's the Ramirez, right?
Yeah,
Ramiro.
Ramirez been a
Those events, I'm not.
Ramiro Jimenez, yes. So he was able to go out there and have some success against him. I do think the level of competition is pretty poor for someone like Exposito, but he at least is going out there and putting on an interesting showcase, is 7-0 to the submission. And I do think that sometimes it's not about, who he's going out there and fighting on the regional scene, but other promotions and how he's looking at that. So I do think it's another spot where Delano is the A side to this matchup, and it's just going to see how is Exposito able to handle the step up.
Yeah, I think it's a big step up, man. Delano Ryan, I thought a couple fights ago he was UFC ready, and now he keeps winning. And Exposito again, he has some good scrambles and these submission attempts, but Delano is so hard to grapple. Like if Exposito goes here and goes for like a heavy grappling style, he may get himself tired too. Like he may get tired quick too. Like Delano is hard to take down, harder to control. So Delano is probably a rightful favorite, but minus 425, a little bit surprising to be honest. I didn't know if market was still high on him or not. Last fight he looked great, but after the Gabriel Santos loss, they were lining him a little bit like lower. But yeah, they lined him pretty big here. Again, minus 425 against a guy who is only 25 years old, an Argentinian who we've seen Argentinians do well last couple years. So both guys are good. Again, if Exposito loses a couple years later, he could be still in the UFC. That is not bad. But Delano is, finished UFC level product right now, in my opinion. He can strike, he can wrestle. His cardio is very good. He's been 5 rounds multiple times. So, Delano is probably gonna get this done here. Could be 3, maybe round 3 finish, or it's probably a decision. So one thing I think happens is like it hits at least round 2. I don't think it's a round 1 finish for either of them. They're both pretty good for that. So round 3 Delano probably small sprinkle. If there is a prop round 3 or decision Delano, I would probably be interested. If it's a good line. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Delano here. I'm not laying it, but if somebody was gonna parlay like Delano and Louis Scott, I don't think it's a bad idea. Just saying.
Yeah, and I know that Budo Cento Championship. I looked into it a little bit. I know it's a growing faction in Mexico for sure. They've been rolling out pretty frequent cards for sure. Yeah. Okay, great job, guys. Really appreciate it here as we did the preview for Dana White Contender Series, week number 2, season 9 on Tuesday, August 19th, BB. We had a great time also with UFC 319. Man, it really it did come through there in the end. Maybe it was a little slow to start, but good card on Saturday and a great DWCS coming up here, week number 2. What's going on this week?
Yeah, I'm happy to have the WCS back. I always look forward to these cards on Tuesday. Who gets signed, who doesn't? That's Saturday to next Saturday is a long break. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to have some Tuesday fights every week, and a lot of prospects, a lot of champions come out of these shows. So we'll see what happens this year. But I'm for sure gonna be in action again. I only have Louis Scott, but again, I think there is a lot more props I'm gonna be adding. Like I like a lot of 2-3s I already mentioned. I'm gonna look at the face off. Who looks great, who doesn't. Who is on the right supplements, as they say, and sometimes that's very important also. And all these are free. You can go to my BetMMA and get my cards. Last year, dozens of units we made. I think we made 30 units total on Contender Series. So we did very well. Me and Gordo have one thing in common. We both lose first cards of the year every year somehow. You know what I mean? But that's probably a good sign. Like everything's going well. The first card we lose, then we keep winning. So
up from here.
Let's get it. I think we hit this breakdowns pretty spot on. Yeah, what you got this week? Are you doing some content? You DFS plays or anything?
Yeah, and not only that.
I have a week off this week for me.
Oh.
It's actually finals week for me in terms of school. So I actually have no content this week. I get a week off, but we'll hop it back into it later. All my work, though, I'll be doing another Dana White Contender Series video tomorrow on my channel, Plays in Fate Sports, or with Liam Picks Fights. Just love talking fights, never get the chance. So happy to have you send me the invite this week, and happy to join you and align with you on most of them.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you, brother, for joining. A last week we had Mr. Blunt. I think I will have him back next week, and Gordo, I would love to have you back also this season. Again, I need people who do research early, and not many people can get to it. I understand it's very hard. Even this morning, I was taping this whole card, like I was making my reads, and Louis Scott is the bet I came out with so far. But how much you pay attention to the weigh-ins and face-offs in general? That's what I wanted to ask people to get out of
I
here.
like the weigh-ins. Typically, also size factors as well on matchups like this. But I don't think it's. I think it's a lot of times a good look to see what type of fighter we're getting. Like the Ramirez guy in the first fight hasn't fought in a year and a half. How does he shape up? That kind of thing. So I do look into it, and I'm looking forward to see how they look.
Yep.
All right.
For example, this is what I mentioned. Like, I am asking Gordo this because I had Mr. Blunt last week, and we kind of both picked Mangos last week, But then the face-off came, and Radley was big, and he was plus 130. I was like, yeah, I think it's a pick him. So why not play him about plus 130 guy who's more physical? So even though sometimes we may pick a guy, if I'm not confident, you guys shouldn't rush to the window and bet them. Make sure to wait on face-offs and check my official card, for these fights. You know what I mean? Even though on the show I was laying Mangos after the face-off, I changed my mind. So make sure to be, looking at my official bets. But for the most part, these picks are gonna stay the same. I'm not gonna go I'm leaning Mangos and then max bet the other guy. That's gonna be very rare. So if I take the other guy, it's probably gonna be a small bet. But yeah, again, thank you, Gordon, for joining. Everybody in the comments. Not many people joined this week. Last week we had a little bit more, but I appreciate it. It's probably Sunday. People are exhausted after last night, and still, everybody, thank you for watching. And Raymond, you want to add something before we get out of here?
No, I would just give Gordo the week off because you talk about still resting, BB. You get the primetime UFC card next week. For us, it starts at 3 a.m. for Gordo and midnight for me. So we'll let Gordo have maybe a week. Maybe he'll wake up in time for the main card.
That'll be about right.
Great job, BB. And of course, BB MMA Picks is brought to you by SXBet, the world's largest blockchain betting exchange. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you, BB. Thank you, Gordo. And we'll catch you next time with more BB MMA Picks.
Steam, it's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover. Call the morning steam, it's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Tuesday, August 19th. Hope you enjoyed that representation of VB MMA picks for UFC Contender Series. Tonight we'll be by with live coverage of the Contender Series 5 fights tonight from the Apex here in Las Vegas, and we'll get a chance to wager on the fights tonight. Hope you enjoyed those previews, and we got our lineup tonight here, and hope you enjoyed the coverage yesterday with Mikey and Razor and Jeff over there with the contest last night, picking the 33s out there. Who's going to score some 33s this season? Now, I probably went with 32. I think 32 is less prevalent than 33. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what the average score is over there. I just know that 33 got hit 3 times in the last 4 weeks last season. So hopefully everybody had fun with that. I watched it there last night, and everybody got a drawing. I hope you got a good team over there with the guys yesterday. A fun show watching everyone get their team for the season in the 33 contest. So don't forget to join us though tonight at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific. I think we ought to have about 15 minutes before that, actually, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, for UFC Contender Series, Dana White's Contender Series tonight, and we'll be here along for a couple of hours and watch those fights, try to land some contracts compared to last week. That wasn't great. I don't know if I've 2 contracts. That doesn't happen very often, actually. Usually it's at least 3 or more. Like last season when it was 4 or 5 every week, it seemed like. But last week Dana wasn't happy, and so maybe tonight we'll get a chance to give away more contracts. Hey, thanks for joining me, everybody, in the chat, and we'll say hello to the folks here. I can run and roll on here with Kevin Nix. He's ready. Look, he's betting every tennis match out there. Jermaine, good morning. Brian is here today. Hello. Kevin Nix there. He says, what are we doing? Watching just some UFC. Frank is here, and he's been giving out the winners, so get ready. Sports Money's here today. He had a first 5 in there yesterday. Robert McCormick's here, ready for the show. Cash Kane is there. Jerry Jones here. He's ready to go in the chat today. Action Jackson in there as well, and RBM times Swerve. I don't know if I'm ever saying that right. I don't know what I'm going to say for RBM times Swerve. But remember that song by LaMelo Ball? I don't even remember how it goes. He did the Swerve song. I really liked it there for about, I hope LaMelo wasn't a flash in the pan. How did that song go again with the Swerve? I was singing it right here last season. Man, I want to sing it right now. I just forget how it went. I'll give him a swerve. Whoa, whoa. It was a catchy tune. All right, let's go over the action last night. We'll get right to our action today. We got a little bit more than yesterday. We got full Major League Baseball card, including that doubleheader. I think they're going to try to get a doubleheader. I want to sing the song here. I might swerve in that corner. Whoa, got my money in my pocket and I let that shit blow. I don't remember. I might swerve in the corner. Whoa. Poor LaMelo. All right. Not LaMelo. LiAngelo. Angelo. What? LiAngelo. Not LaMelo. Okay. Let's go over some of the action here from yesterday and recap the plays here and say hello to everyone also in the chat so far. Jermaine, RBM Swerve, Jerry in there as well. Who else is in there? Brian's in there, Cash Kane, Andrew Jackson, Bobby Mack, Kevin, Nick, and also in there, who else was in there today? Frank. All right. Take a look at some of those games, though, from last night and see how we did. We did have the Cardinals here on the show yesterday to get us kind of started with some winners for St. Louis in that win yesterday over Miami. There is the Cardinals got the win on the road with Liberatore. There, Cardinals won it. Alec Burleson had 3 hits. We also have the winner here on the show with the over Houston and Detroit there yesterday. A little bit of a blowout there as Detroit got the win in that one, 8-1. It did go over for us there. Also, hopefully catching me every day over there at Cover the Spread. And I gave out the winner. My top play on Cover the Spread was Detroit yesterday, and they got it done. There's Tigers got that win over Houston, 4 home runs for the Tigers in that one. Also, yesterday I had a high roller winner with what was it? But we got it here with Pittsburgh yesterday, or I'm sorry, with oh boy. I know it was there somewhere. I think I had the wrong score there. Gausman and Skeens. What was it? 5-2. That's what it was. I think I quoted that wrong. Game to Detroit was 10-0, not 8-1 there. And also that St. Louis win was 8-3. What am I looking at here? Anyway, we did have the Pirates there yesterday with Skeens over Toronto in that one in the 5-2 win over there with the high roller pick over at Tony's Picks. Also, I had Baltimore yesterday here on the show in the 6-3 win over Boston with Rogers. And hopefully you caught me there on the happy hour show where I gave out that ramped up prop. I said a little bit of an alternate prop at plus money on Rogers strikeouts yesterday. He had 7 in that one. Also, winner here at Tony's Picks with the over White Sox and Braves yesterday with the Sosa 4 RBIs. Lenny Sosa, he's got a good swing on him, doesn't he? And the Sox went 4 home runs in that one off of Strider and company. We also had Kansas City as my win club winner here yesterday. Kansas City in the 4-3 win over Texas with Michael Waka. They're getting or Kansas City anyway, getting the win over the Rangers there. Kansas City had 3 home runs. It was the night of the long ball there with Cincinnati. Also, we had Cincinnati as our pick, the Reds over the Angels last night, as Gavin Lux had a 2-run home run in that one. Angels fall to 5 games under 500. And the Angels will face Hunter Green today. I did have the Giants. Yep, I had the Giants over my Padres last night with Robbie Ray. 4-3 in the win there. Giants get that win. Another loss for the Padres, but the Dodgers lost as well. So no movement there. But Nestor Cortez, he gave up 3 home runs in the first inning, and this ain't working out right now. And that 4-0 lead, that's all they needed there. Robbie Ray, I said that Robbie Ray always gives the Padres big-time trouble. Well, Padres had 1 hit going into the 7th inning, and then they had that home run voided when the fan reached over the fence, even though he didn't touch the ball, ruled interference. Ryan O'Hearn did a 2-run pinch hit home run, but struck out there at the end of the game. So Padres remain 2 games back. We also had the under as our high roller winner over at Tony's Picks, and that one is stayed under in the 4-3 game. And then also another win club winner here yesterday with Cleveland and Arizona to go under in the Cleveland 3-1 victory there last night as David Rocchio hit a 2-run home run in Cleveland. And we also said over there on the happy hour, Gavin Williams under 16.5 outs, and he went 5 1/3. So a winner there by 1 out, and we got it done there yesterday. All right. We also had the winner in the football game here on the show with the over in Cincinnati and Washington there yesterday. I thought Washington would have a better showing. Guess the public there was kind of right. Cincinnati favorite on the road, get it done yesterday. And I think that's a good look at the action there. We got some steam coming in here this morning, so we'll preview all the games so far. The Angels took the steam while we were getting ready here on the air. For the Angels there, they are down to, let's see, they're taking the steam. I just mentioned Hunter Green, but I guess the Angels are taking the action here this morning. They're down to plus $1.15 or so here right now in Cincinnati. That's about a 20-cent move or so with the steam coming in on the Angels this morning against the Reds. Okay. Also, some steam came in while we were prepping here with Toronto and Pittsburgh game to go under. It was 8 over 20, I believe, but now we're looking at currently 7.5 over 20 for the most part. There's still some 8 unders out there, but the steam came in on the under with Toronto and Pittsburgh. That's Scherzer and Keller. All right, let's get to it here with the chat today and see who else strolled in. And I think we have time to get ready for the show. All right, who else is here? Twisted is ready to go. Kevin Nix also talking about, hey, we did, oh yeah, I forgot. Hey, thanks, Kevin. We did give out also on the happy hour there yesterday. I said go with Jasmine Paolini plus those 5.5 games. And yeah, she did hang in there pretty good, did a pretty good job as Iga won the title there in Cincinnati there yesterday. So, and Leo here, Lee 40 is here today. Lee 40, James blows. Might be some LeBron thing there. Nick Handy as well. Nuke is here this morning. Thank you, Nuke. Hey, everyone, like this video. Subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Great shows, great content, ready for the season. Nuke says, now the Rockies are playing some ball here. This is their time. Trap God also here this morning. All right, you can get those Win Club picks over at winnable.com/Ramon. I come up with my high volume plays at this site. Get plenty of plays from me. I went 3-0 yesterday. I think I just read them all off. 3-0 in the major leagues there yesterday. Sometimes we have a few more plays, but just 3 yesterday with the Win Club. But I think I just read them off all to you. I had the Reds, had the Cleveland, Arizona game to go under there yesterday. And I think we had one more in there as well with the who was it? The Royals over the Rangers. Did I even include that in the? Yeah, we did with Waka. So 3-0 there yesterday with the Win Club, and you can check those plays out over at winnable.com. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20%. This is my high volume package. We also had a couple of overnight plays here this morning in Asian baseball, one in the KBO and one also in NPB there yesterday. But we did get blown out in one of them there yesterday, but we did have the Kia Tigers on the run line over Kaiwoom. So I think we got juiced out of those 2 plays. All right, we're going to have a good morning of action here. And don't forget, pick up those plays from me over at winnable.com/Ramon. Get more plays from me. Click the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. That'll take you to my Winnable page, and you can get signed up. Use that promo code STEAM. We'll also have a drawing at the end of the show, and you can win those plays. So far, got people signed up, those that have won the plays from me at Winnable. And like I said, at the end of the show, we'll do a drawing, and someone can win 1 month of plays from me. So please check that out here. All you got to do is type something into the chat, and you'll receive an entry into that contest. So this is how you get more plays from me, from Mike, from Jeff. We can't be with you all day, but we do our shows here, and then we send out another package of plays for anyone interested if you support me here on the channel. And you do that by subscribing over at winnable.com. That keeps me coming back here every day. So check it out over at winnable.com.
It's your boy, Mikey Money. I'm inviting you to join the Sports Money crew on Winnable. Get all of our premium best bet selections.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays sent straight to your phone right when you need them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right, so check it out over at winnable.com/Ramon. All right, having a little snack time here in the morning. All right. Okay, we'll get ready for the action here today. Again, we got a little doubleheader coming up. A few more names here. I think Irish King, ready to go, rolling with Pittsburgh. D-Money, hello, as well. And my little firecracker, Kevin Nick said there. She did a good job, right? Definitely covered that game spread there yesterday. Brody C here today as well. And Jimmy Lambo, thank you for being here today. All right, let's get down to business here. Hopefully we get the doubleheader in here today, as we did not there yesterday. But still, let's take a look here. We got, make sure I get the pitchers right here. I think we had a little bit of adjustment here. But yeah, Chad Patrick and Boyd. I think, since this one was kind of previewed yesterday, I don't know how much time we need to spend on it. Probably come right back. I don't think there's enough information to warrant any change there in the play, other than the fact that Boyd and Tyone will be now in the other game. It'll be Woodruff and Tyone in the nightcap. So, I guess we better break it down, re-break it down here today. We did have one game yesterday, obviously, for these two guys. So let's check it out with Chad Patrick on the mound. We talked about his return already. He did look decent there earlier in the season, and I believe he got called up just for the doubleheaders, actually, to make this start to help Milwaukee. I say every time they have a good pitcher that Milwaukee's rolling out, but they did have to dip down a little bit, and because it's doubleheader, you get that extra player, so no big deal. Patrick can handle the job here. He's 3-7 with a 3.52 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 256 batting average against. Of course, the Brewers have won. They're pretty hot. For Boyd here, 11-6 record, 2.46 ERA, 101 WHIP, 225 batting average against, and a 271 BABIP. So Boyd's been really solid for sure this whole season here. And you do have a lefty, obviously with a lefty, but Milwaukee, they're pretty much the best in the league against left-handers, 25-11 or 25-12, I think, out there yesterday. But I don't know if there's a team with that solid of a mark. I mean, Houston's also pretty solid against left-handers. Detroit's done a pretty good job as well. Toronto. But I think Milwaukee, I think that really is the best record against left-handed pitching. All right, take a look at some of the trends for these two coming into the series today. I think maybe that's how we can look at it. We know Milwaukee just won a gazillion in a row until they finally lost one there the other night. But still very, very solid here have been the Brewers on this incredible run right now for sure. All right, there we go. Get some of these numbers here for these two teams. For the Brewers here, do come in right now having won 10 of their last 11 on the road. Milwaukee's won 15 of their last 16 overall. Brewers have gone over in 8 of their last 11 games on the road. Although 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams in Wrigley Field have gone under here. And just moments ago, right now, as a matter of fact, the steam is coming in right this second. You heard it in the background, and the steam's coming in on the Cubs and Boyd here right now, up to $1.55. This one is on the move, on the run here at this point with Chicago and Milwaukee. Look, Boyd's done well, but man, can you really? I got to update this line all of a sudden. Steam's coming in on Chicago. I'm sure it's an advantage with Boyd over Patrick, but how are you going to deny these Brewers now? Sharps are coming in, driving this line up. Man, could it sway me over to Milwaukee here? Let's see what you guys have in the chat, and I'll cover a few more notes with the Cubs. But, oh, there's a stunner right now. That line is on the move. You can see it for yourselves. At this point, we already said the total there. What do we got? 7.5 under 25. We're even seeing some 7 overs out there right now. It could update it. All right, let's see here. Okay, let me go over it here right now and see what you guys have in the chat for the Cubs here. Cubs come in having lost 4 out of their last 5 against Milwaukee overall. They've also dropped 4 of their last 5 here at home to Milwaukee. Cubs have gone under in 7 of their last 8 games coming in, including 6 of their last 7 games at home right now. So let's see how you guys have it in the chat here. Game 1 of the doubleheader at 12:20 Eastern, 11:20 Pacific, after Game 2 was rained out there yesterday. All right, here we go. Here come the plays. And it's going to be Cash Kane. He's on the Cubs money line. And let's see, Fernando, Brewers money line. And Kevin Nix might be showing his age here, or maybe he's just a Cubs fan. Let's play 2. As Ernie Banks would say. All right, can't fade Skeens. They're talking about that Skeens game yesterday. Boyd, so solid at home. And sure, you can McCluck eat a conehead bet, says LaFour James Blows. The 40. I think I got it right. Cash King says Cubs first 5. Frank Lucas can't trust Chad Patrick. That's the difference here, maybe for him. Man, you gotta respect this steam that came in, but these are still the Milwaukee Brewers. It feels like right now. They're okay. Frank says he can go over 2.5 with the Cubs juiced up there. James Blows says take the under here. All right. And let's see here. College. I think that's it from you guys in the chat. They'll just start another streak, Terrell says. Cubs money line, Twisted says you can't bet against them here right now. Man, you really can't. I mean, it seems like such a solid here for Chicago today. But, man, that steam, you got to respect it, man. It's up to $1.55 against a team that seemingly can't lose right now. All right, give me the under here in this one with Milwaukee and Chicago today at 7.5. And I better at least put the right price. I'll call it 7. I'll call it 7 over 25. That's what we'll do. That's the play. I'll take the under. I'll still go under here with Milwaukee and Chicago. All right, next up, the Cardinals are on the road with McGreevy taking on Cabrera here in this one for the Cardinals. McGreevy 4-2 with a 4.41 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 275 batting average against, and a 304 BABIP for the Marlins here. And Cabrera, he's 6-6 with a 3.34 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, 223 batting average against. Marlins are 8-13 to the under with Cabrera on the mound. Get ready in the chat. See what you guys have here in this one with McGreevy. Current line is probably 130, 135, and the total here has dipped for sure to 8 under at this point. Looks like 8 unders all over here right now. So the steam came in on the over, but I don't know if I'm seeing it here actually right now in this one with St. Louis and Miami. For the Cards here, Cardinals have lost 13 of their last 19 games on the road. They are 4-2, however, in that last 6 on the road. They've dropped 4 of their last 6 games against the Marlins overall. St. Louis has dropped 5 of their last 6 coming in. They've also gone over in 6 of their last 8 games on the road against the Marlins. Marlins come in having won 6 of their last 9 games at home coming in. And also, Miami has lost 15 of their last 23 against St. Louis overall, and the Marlins have lost 4 of their last 5 coming in. Marlins have gone over in 5 straight games coming into this one. Let's go to the chat here with Cards and Miami today. All right, here we go. It's going to be Cash King is on the Cardinals here, plus a run and a half. Irish King says St. Louis in this one. I probably agree. I probably want to be on St. Louis here, it feels like. And Leforte James blows. Marlins in the over there. All right. And D-Money on the Cardinals as well. He says take him on the run line here. I don't know if I could do that. I think the price is a little too high even for me on the run line here. Right now, the Marlins at plus 1.5. Oh, yeah. Minus $1.85. No thanks. I'll just take the Cardinals here as a dog against Miami today, plus $1.15 or so. All right, next up, the Astros are on the road against the Tigers, and the Tigers had their way yesterday, didn't they? In the blowout win over Houston, and now they have Tariq Skubal on the mound against Hunter Brown. Marquee matchup on the hill here with Brown. 2.45 ERA in this one, 1.0 whip, 197. Batting average against it might seem like a can't miss under here with these two, but I don't know. Skubal's had a few overs here for sure. Brown, I'm not saying he's giving it up here at this point. I mean, he's 9-14 to the under overall for Skubal. He's 11-3 with a 2.42 ERA, 0.87 whip, 200 batting average against, but Skubal here, $1.70 right now, and the total is 7 over here. Here it was 725, and I don't know if that's any indication because right now it's 7 over 15 with these two pitchers going. Sounds like feels and sounds like a move to the over actually in this game. So I don't know. Can Houston hang in there today after losing 10-0 yesterday? I might trust them here with Brown on the run line. Oh, minus $1.65. Yuck. All right. Well, let's look at these teams anyway and see what we have to deal with and what we want to go with today. Get ready in the chat and let me know what you're doing here as well with Houston and Detroit. Houston's lost 4 of their last 6 games. Detroit's won 5 of their last 6 games. Houston's gone over in 10 of their last 13 overall, including 6 of their last 7 on the road. Detroit's gone over in 7 straight. So these teams are going over massive of late. 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams here in Detroit have gone over. I might go over in a game with Brown and Skubal. How about you guys? Let's go to the chat. See what you have. Detroit's gone over in 7 straight games at home. But you do have an awesome pitching matchup. No matter how you look at it, Skubal will torch the Astros today, says Cash Kane. And way under for L40. And Detroit plus money under, I think. And Kelly says, oh, this pitching matchup looks good. But I'm going over tonight with the Astros and the Tigers. Give me the over in this one. Blue Jays and Pirates here with Max Scherzer on the mound. Oh, he's up against Keller here in this one for Scherzer. He's 3-2 with a 3.83 ERA, 107 whip, 229 batting average against. For Keller here, he's 5-11 but 10-15 to the under. The Pirates are 10-15 with Keller on the mound. 4.13 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 254 batting average against, a 297 BABIP coming in. For Toronto here, they've won 10 of their last 12 games against Pittsburgh, including 7 of the last 8 games here on the road at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's dropped 7 of their last 9 coming in. Toronto's gone over in 13 of their last 20 and 9 of their last 12 games on the road. So let's see what you have here in this one with Max, favored on the road at $1.40. Oh, $1.50. $1.50 at this point. Better update that. And the total here right now starting to dip here. It's definitely not 8 over. It's either 8 under 25. Might even be 7.5 over at this point on that widely reported steam that came in on the under. All right, let's go to the chat and see what you have here with the Blue Jays and the Pirates today. It's going to be Cash Kane is on the Jays run line. Kelly says, lucky to win last night. And who's done better, Keller or Scherzer with the under? I think that's a question from L40 Sucks. Or Blows, I mean. I better get it right. I think if you compare the two, Keller's been more of an under pitcher. Max is, I think, 5 and 4 to the over. Kelly says, do you think it'll go over here in this one? I guess I better make my call here. I kind of want to take the under with this in this matchup, yeah, but that 7.5 is a little bit intimidating here. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna lay this chalk here. Actually, even at this outrageous price, give me Toronto here. I'll just take them on the money line. Call it $1.50, but I'm gonna go with the Jays on the road here with Max at $1.50 or so. And let's see here. Cash Kane says those Jays bats lit Skeens up. I'm going to take Toronto today. Next up, the Mets are on the road here against the Nats. And you have David Peterson favored big time here at, just minus $2. And the total, 9 over 15. A little bit of a move to the over in this one. 9 over, huh? All right, let's see what you got. For Peterson here, comes in with a 3.3 ERA, 7-5 record coming into this one. 3.3 ERA, 1.2 WHIP. For Urban here, he's 8-7 with a 5.14 ERA, 1.37 WHIP, 264 batting average against. For the Mets come in here right now having dropped 14 of their last 18 games coming in, but they have defeated the Nationals in 11 of the last 13 meetings between the two. Mets have lost 6 in a row on the road. Washington 6-12 straight up in their last 18 games, 3-8 in their last 11 games at home. Washington has defeated the Mets in 4 of the last 6 games at home between the two. Mets have gone over in 6 of their last 8 games coming in. Let's go to the chat here and see what you have tonight with the Mets taking on the Nats. And I'll go to the chat here. Peterson and Irvin. All right, Mets run line for Cash Kane. And he says the weather's not great. Urban's bad, but the numbers have been good against the Mets. He kind of owns them here. Could that be the spot for Urban today? You know, we got a big run line here, a reasonable run line here. And L40 James Blows says, how many innings did the A's pitcher pitch scoreless after that 6-0 A's win? Is what L40 James Blows says. All right. I'm going to go with the under in this one with the Mets and Washington. I'm over. I'm sorry, at 9. Yep. Give me the over. 9 over 15. Yeah, got to do it. I'm taking the over in this one with the Mets and the Nationals. Right. Mets over in their team total here today. Cash Cane says the hurricane down in Florida is going to bring a little bit of weather somewhere down there. And Mets run line here for Trevor Davis. All right. Next up, the Mariners are on the road, taking on the Phils with Bryce Miller going here in this one. He's up against Christopher Sanchez today. For Bryce Miller, makes his return from injury. He's 2-5 with 5.73 ERA, 1.5 WHIP, a 278 batting average against, a 322 BABIP. Not great numbers for Miller, but he's been sidelined and was injured there, so probably hurt him a little bit. For Sanchez here, the left-hander, 11-4 record, 2.45 ERA. Phillies are 17-7 with Sanchez on the mound, a 108 WHIP, 226 batting average against. For Seattle, they come in having lost 5 of their last 6 overall, including 4 of their last 5 games on the road. Philadelphia, meanwhile, has won 10 of their last 15 and 4 of their last 5 at home. Philadelphia has gone over in 10 of their last 15 against the Mariners, but they've gone under in 7 of their last 10. Overall, 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams in Philadelphia have gone over. So let's see how you have it here in this one. I'm just taking the Phillies for sure here on the run line. Still about $1.75. The total is 8 over 20. I'd say it's gone up here a little bit. But I'm going to take the run line with the Phillies today at minus 1.5 at plus $1.20. Give me the Phillies on the run line today. All right, hope you're doing okay in the chat. Oh, here comes some more plays. I was worried there. Cash Cane, Phillies run line minus 2.5. Says the bats for Philly were on fire yesterday. Philly first 5, team total over, and Schwarber to hit a home run, says Irish King. Trap God says, I've got those Phillies. Got to get them early here. And RBM swerve. Whoa. Under and Phillies money line. Thomas Maggio's here today. Hi, Thomas. Good to see you. He's got the Phillies with me on the run line. Next up, the Orioles are on the road taking on the Red Sox. You got Sugano going here in this one for the O's and Buehler going for the Red Sox here in this one for Sugano. He's 10-5 with a 4.13 ERA, 1.28 WHIP, 263 batting average against, and a 275 BABIP for Buehler here. 7-7 record, 5.43 ERA, 1.57 WHIP. These two pitchers are combined 16-26 to the under this season. For the O's here, they've won 5 of their last 6, including 4 of their last 5 on the road. Break them up. Boston's won 16 of their last 20 games at home, although they have dropped 6 of their last 9 overall. Boston's gone over in 10 of their last 13, but Baltimore's gone under in 8 of their last 12. 12 of the last 17 meetings between these two teams at Boston have gone over. Let's see how you've got this one here with Baltimore and Boston here today. And we'll go to the chat here and see what you guys have. Here we go. Let's see here. Terrell's on the over in the Phillies game there with Seattle. Irish King like the over in this one, I think. Nasty Nate says Boston to smash here. Bueller on the mound today. O's money line for Cash Kane. And Swerve. Whoa. He likes the over in this one. O's money line here for Irish King. All right, I'm on Baltimore again here. I'm going with the O's again. Cash Kane on the under here. We were on Baltimore yesterday. I'm coming back with Baltimore today as a dog. Give me the O's in this one. White Sox taking on the Braves here with Shane Smith. He's up against Bryce Elder, and Elder, well, he held his own there yesterday, last start there, and looked a lot better. So we'll see. But for Smith here, 3-7 with a 4.01 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 223 batting average against a 271 BABIP here for Smith. For Elder, he's 5-9 overall with a 5.89 ERA, but he's still 5-11 to the under this season. Bryce Elder, that means no run support though, because he hasn't been very good. Near 6 ERA, 3.17 BABIP. Chicago comes in having dropped 7 of their last 8 games on the road. Atlanta's dropped 13 of their last 19 at home, but they've won 5 of their last 6. They're actually pretty hot. Hey, real quick, got some steam coming in here on the late game tonight between Cleveland and Arizona. Steam on Arizona right now. They're probably going to go to $1.20, $1.25 here right now, taking the steam with Eduardo on the mound against Tanner Bybee. Steam coming in right now, though, on Arizona. All right. Atlanta's won 7 of the last 10 at home against the White Sox in this interleague series. Also, White Sox have gone under in 4 of their last 5. White Sox have actually won 5 of their last 6 games against Atlanta. But like I said, Atlanta's playing pretty well right now for sure. Let's see what you guys have here in this one with the Sox. Look, Braves, I don't even think it's $1.70 here right now. I think it's actually lower than that. You got some square shops still a little bit close to 170, but I'll just call it I'll call it 165, maybe 160 here. It's been the slightest of moves, it feels like, to the White Sox today. The total, however, has gone down for sure. 8.5. At the sharp books, it looks like maybe 8.5 shaded of the over. We'll call it 8.5 here right now with the White Sox and the Braves. Let's see how you have it in this one. I think I know what I'm doing, so let me know. Oh, well, let's see here. Cash Kane is on the under here. And the O's for L40 James Blows in there. Kelly's the number 1 chatter, she says right now. And let's see here. Thank you, Kelly. Really appreciate all your comments in the description there. White Sox again for D Money. Why not? But still the Braves. This has been, they've woken up here a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take the over here in this one with the White Sox and Atlanta. All right, next up, we got the Yankees here going up against the Rays with Carlos Rodon going for the Yanks, and Shane Baz goes for the Rays. For Rodon, he is 12-7, 3.25 ERA, 106 WHIP, 186 batting average against, and a 228 BABIP. For Shane Baz, he comes in here with an 8-9 record, a 4.93 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, 252 batting average against. For the Yankees here, they've won 5 of their last 6, including 4 of their last 5 games on the road. Yankees have won 8 of the last 12 against Tampa Bay overall. Tampa Bay comes in having won 4 of their last 6, but they have dropped 4 of the last 6 against the Yankees here at home. Tampa's gone over in 6 of their last 8, but they've gone under in 4 of their last 5 at home. So what to make of it here today with the Yankees and the Rays? In the chat, the plays are coming in, and it's going to be Trap God is on the over here. SF Niner likes the Yankees. All right. Let's see, the Yankees, that they've actually not $1.50 anymore. This one's way down here, actually. $1.30 there. Let me get this one right. I better update that one on the screen, because the Rays took the steam for sure here, and they are down right now. It's $1.30 or so for the Yankees. Big discount here.
Steam playing.
And the total is, we'll just call it 8 flat. So it's gone down for sure, has this total. There we go. All right, let's see how you guys have it now with the Yankees and the O's here. Feels like a pretty good discount right now. All right, here we go. Yankees money line for SF Niner. Cash Kane's got a big parlay here. Liberty over, Tigers money line, Mets money line, Phillies run line, Padres run line, Yankees money line, Diamondbacks first 5 money line, and the Blue Jays money line. How about that? That steam you heard in the background was a preseason game. I think here the Colts just got mashed here from 2.5 up to 4, just like that. Usually you see a move like that middle of the week. It's usually pretty good, but you are going over those key numbers there. Irish King was on the White Sox money line, team total over. Yankees money line here for Cash Kane. And sports money, there's Justin in the chat today. All right, I'm going to take this discount with the Yankees here now at $1.30. That's the kind of a move that I'm interested in. The Yankees money line for Fernando here. And Irish King, Yankees first 5 -0.5. D Money says this is a home game for the Yankees. Playing in that Steinbrenner Field. Cody Bellinger over for Justin in the chat. All right. Keep it rolling here right now. Doing a good job going along here with Texas on the road, taking on Kansas City with Merrill Kelly on the mound here, going up against Seth Lugo. Lugo, well, let's see. Yeah, I think the Royals are moving to the favorite here this morning gradually. At this point, let's go ahead and make them the $1.15 favorite. Maybe it's not quite that high, but I think a majority of books are showing the Royals the favorite, and a few of I will say the sharper books are hanging on to the Rangers here as the favorite right now. The total is 8.5 over 20 for sure. Let's run that by you. All right, for Merrill Kelly here, he comes in with a 3.36 ERA, 2.12 batting average against, 109 WHIP. He's 9-7 this season. Lugo's 8-6, 3.77 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 237 batting average against. Texas has dropped 5 of their last 6 games coming in. Kansas City's won 6 of their last 7 overall. So the Royals are hot, the Rangers are not. Kansas City's won 8 of their last 9 at home. They've also defeated the Rangers in 4 of the last 5 matchups overall. Texas has gone over in 4 of their last 5. They've gone over in 5 of their last 6 on the road, but 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Kansas City's gone under in 4 of their last 5. Let's see how you guys have this one. Go to the chat. Rangers, Royals. Rangers for Justin there. And L40 James Blows is on the Diamondbacks. Nice to have the 40 James Blows. He's a new poster here. SF Niner says Royals money line. Justin says take Seager in his total bases today. And Ken says, yeah, that's their home there with the Yankees in that stadium, huh? Justin says White Sox and Braves over. Cash Cane's on the Rangers. SF Niner likes the White Sox here, or he likes the White Sox in that game against the Braves. All right. L40 James Blows says over in the first half. Points got to be Philly possible. I don't know what that means, but it sounds accurate. All right. Andrew says he feels like this one's a tough card, huh? Zach Hatton here today. All right. Well, hey, I got to make my call on this one. And, man, it does feel like that Kansas City does kind of have the Rangers number here. But I'm going to go with the Rangers today against Kansas City on the road to kind of snap it a little bit. Hey, there's some steam coming in again. It's on the Miami Marlins. And they are up to, we said they were $1.35, but right now they're up to $1.47 at DraftKings here. Pretty sharp move here, at least 10 cents, maybe even 15 cents on the Marlins. Hey, well, I did give out the play. I don't know if I might get a little bit better price. I did go with St. Louis, so hopefully I didn't send you on a bad number there, but the move is on Miami here in this one. All right, SF Niner says the Braves are no good. Athletics taking on the Twins here. You've got Lopez going here in this one against the Twins and Joe Ryan. It kind of sounds like an interesting pitching matchup, actually. Lopez has been up and down, but he's definitely had some very solid starts, too. Lopez comes in here right now with 3.3 ERA. Pretty good, especially when you're playing half your games in that stadium up there. He's 6-6, 4-10 to the under. Lopez, the A's are 10-5 when Lopez pitches. 1.19 ERA, 2.23 batting average against, but a 2.94 BABIP. For Ryan here, 12-5 record, 2.72 ERA. He's 6-15 to the under. In fact, these two pitchers are 10-25 to the under this season. And we are in Minnesota here, by the way. 2.72 ERA for Ryan, 2.01 batting average against. So the numbers are still there for Ryan. The A's have lost 9 of their last 10 games here in Minnesota. They've dropped 5 of the last 6 against the Twins. A's have gone under in 4 of their last 5 on the road, but Minnesota's gone under in 6 of their last 9 games overall. Minnesota's dropped 5 of their last 7. They've dropped 8 of their last 12 at home as well. But right now, Minnesota is down to $1.40. There's still $1.44 at DraftKings. Total 8 is up here for sure. Almost a full half a run to 8.5. 8.5 or 8.5 over minus 115. Okay, I think I'm ready for the chat here in this one with the A's and the Twins here today. What do you have in this one? Man, I don't know. Have A's? Could it be an A's play today? What do you guys have in the chat? Let's take a look. Here we go. It's going to be my good friend SF Niner is going to get a timeout, I guess. Be a little bit unruly. All right. Let's take a look here. Okay, here we go. A's for Justin here. Athletics first 5. Justin's on Lopez over in his strikeouts prop here. Trap God A's on the run line. Kelly says Minnesota -0.5 or under first 5. Irish King on Minnesota there. First 5 and team total over. All right, if you guys are having fun, I apologize, but got to be a little bit cordial and respectful in the morning Steam chat for sure. I'm going to take the A's here in this one. Man, they're terrible against Minnesota. Jeez. God, they're awful against Minnesota, aren't they, in this setting? Ryan's in there, but I'm going to take the A's today. I might be going with some upsets here. I might be on some dogs, huh? All right. L40 James Blows likes Raleigh Fingers in this game today to have a big game. Stop Geo is here today. Hello to Stop Geo. All right, next up. Got the Brewers. Oh, okay, game 2 of the doubleheader. So, we got to wait and see what happens in game 1, but I'll make a play here in game 2 of the doubleheader with Woodruff going up against Tyone. They've kind of swapped the pitchers here for the 2 games. So you do have Woodruff here. What can you say? He is 4-0 with a 2.06 ERA. 7 starts so far. The Brewers have won them all. 7.37 whip. After a while, you got to think this is the real deal now. These numbers will come back down a little bit, but 152 batting average against, 171 BABIP. If you did Woodruff times 3 here, like he pitched a whole season, he'd be the Cy Young Award winner. Tyone, 7-6 with a 4.44 ERA, 1.11 whip, 236 batting average against, and a 237 BABIP. So Tyone also, that 4.44 ERA does stand out, but the rest of the numbers are pretty good for Tyone, believe it or not. For the Brewers here coming in to this one, I guess we don't know. We just don't know. We know actually how good they've been, but again, we got the doubleheader here today. So let's see if you're ready to make a pick here today. I don't know how I can go against Woodruff no matter what happens here. I'm just going to take Milwaukee to win this one in game 2. I got to make a pick. That's what I do here on the Morning Steam Show. All right, Tigers stop GOD. Money's on Milwaukee. And Cash Kane likes the Brewers on the money line. Jimmy Lambeau says going to be a good fight card tonight. We'll be here live for the Contender Series. I think Thomas Maggio's on the Brewers there with that B. I think that's what he is. Justin says Brewers team total over in game 2, 3.5. All right. Well, we're cooking here this morning, and the Dodgers, they got cooked yesterday, 4-3 over those Rockies. Thanks, Rockies. Hey, the Dodgers can't even beat the Rockies. What's the problem with this Dodger team? All right, for Emmett Sheehan here, comes in with a 3.86 ERA, 3-2 record, 1.22 whip, 229 batting average against, a 290 BABIP. For Austin Gomber here, he's 0-6. He's the anti-Woodruff. 6.75 ERA and 11 starts, 312 batting average against. Dodgers have won 10 of the last 11. Yeah, 10 of the last 11 here overall, right? Yesterday's loss. They've also won 7 of their last 8 on the road against the Rockies, but they have dropped 5 of their last 6 on the road overall. Colorado's won 6 of their last 7 games. This is the moment for the Rockies here. They beat the Dodgers, and they're also on a hot streak. They've won 4 of their last 5 games at home. This is as hot as they've been. Dodgers have gone over in 6 of their last 9, but Colorado, They've gone under in 4 of their last 5 and 6 of their last 8 games overall against the Dodgers. But the Dodgers are minus 265, I'd say here. Total 12 over in this one. Let's see what you got in the chat with Sheehan here. I don't know, what's the run line? 3.5 in this one. If it is, maybe I can take Colorado that way here. But let's see what you have in this. I might just go over with these two today. I'm gonna try I keep whiffing on the over, and I've been putting them as a maybe some premiums here. I kind of want to go over again, but the games keep going under. This is a little rut where I'm not hitting right now. Let me go to the chat and see what you guys have. All right, it's going to be Thomas, like the Brewers there. Justin says Dodgers team total over here. D-Money says, I'll take Colorado again. Why not? L40 James says, what advice do you have for a sweep? I'd say, let's see, a sweep. Yeah, I'd say go for it, Colorado. That's my advice. Rockies +3 for Stop Gio. It's only minus $1.15. That's probably what I would do. I think L40 James likes McCutcheon to go over or under. Justin says Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman have good numbers against Gomber, and the Dodgers will get 10 runs tonight. Oh, my goodness. Well, I better go over then. Give me the over tonight. Justin talked me into it. I had a hard time because I have lost a few of these Rockies games trying the over, but I'm going to do it tonight. The Reds are on the road against the Angels, and here's Hunter Green. He's up against Kyle Hendricks in this one. We saw the Reds get the win there last night. I had them there yesterday with Singer as a win club play. For Green, Aries 5-3 with a 2.47 ERA, a 0.92 WHIP. 195 batting average against, a 240 BABIP. The Reds are 3-8 to the under with Green on the mound. Hendricks is 6-8 with a 4.88 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 261 batting average against. The Reds have won 9 straight games against the Angels here right now. And not only that, they're kind of getting a discount. Reds are about $1.30 here today. They were a little bit higher. We said that steam came in on the Angels. How about that? For a team that's lost 9 straight games to these guys. Cincinnati's won 6 of their last 9 overall. Angels have actually dropped 4 of their last 5 at home to Cincinnati, but one of those games was, Cincinnati had won 5 straight basically at home against the Angels there, I think. 8 of the last 10 for Cincinnati on the road have gone under. 12 of their last 16 have gone under, but the Angels are over City. In 8 of their last 10, 9 of their last 13 at home also have gone over between these two. So let's see what you've got here in this one with the Reds on the road. Can they do it again here against the Angels today, especially now that we're talking discounts here, it feels like, on the Reds after they won yesterday. All right. All right, I think that's it from you guys. Let me go to the chat here and get the plays. Cincinnati and the Angels. Not too much from you guys here, it looks like. D-Money, Cincinnati and the under. L40 James Blow is talking WNBA in there. Good morning to Dave today. Good to see Dave today. And Fernando likes the Reds here in this one. I do too. I want to use the Reds as a premium, but I'm not sure of the total, or maybe I'm saving that one as a premium. Give me the Reds. I'll go with the Reds again today. I will just take them down. Premium yesterday, but Stop Gio says I've got Green over in his K-prop. All right, the Giants are at the Padres here, and maybe they can beat Tang here and try to take him to the moon. In this one, Padres big favorite. They might not be 225 anymore. Maybe they're down to 215 or so, and the total is probably 8 flat. It's actually gone up a little bit here with Tang, and Pavetta. For Tang here, 2 starts, 9.9 ERA, 1.9 whip. Giants have lost them both when Tang has started. Tang doesn't run too deep, but Pavetta is 12-4 with a 2.87 ERA. Padres are 15-9 with Pavetta on the mound. 192 batting average against and a 233 BABIP. Padres need it in a bad way here right now. And man, can they do it here today? Come on, Padres. What's going on here? They should beat Tang. I'm probably going to have to take them on this run line here. Let's go to the chat and see what you have in this one. Trap God's on the Reds back there on that other one. Thomas says Padres run line. Justin, Padres run line. I'm on the Padres run line. Come on, Padres. Boy, you know, it's going to be an exciting month and a half for me with the Padres, but gosh, they have no killer instinct here for these guys. Padres team total for Frank, I think he means over there. And the 40 James Blows says Tang, he's a AAA guy. One more in the Major League card tonight is going to be the Guardians. Oh, man, I'm going too fast here with you guys today. Tanner Bybee on the road, taking on Eduardo. We already saw that steam come in. In fact, let's bump it up here, it feels like, to $1.20 at least. And the total, 9/20 seems okay here. It may even be $1.25 at some places. I'll call it $1.20 right now for the D-backs. And let's see what you've got here in this one with Tanner Bybee on the mound. He's 9-9 with a 4.45 ERA, 1.28 WHIP, 291 batting average against. For Rodriguez, a left-hander, 5-7, 5.4 ERA. Arizona's 9-12 with Rodriguez on the mound, 302 batting average against and a 358 BABIP. Hasn't been great. These are not Eduardo-like numbers, but Cleveland here, they've won 6 of their last 7 on the road. Arizona's dropped 4 of their last 5 overall, but Cleveland just 4-10 here in Arizona in their last 14 games. Still, Cleveland's won 12 of their last 18 overall. Arizona's gone under in 4 of their last 5 games and under in 6 of their last 9 games at home. Let's see how you have this one with Cleveland and the Diamondbacks. I'm going over here as my pick. I haven't even gone to the chat yet, but I'm going over. Let's see what you guys have. And then we're done with baseball. All right, D-Money, got no luck with the Padres. And Frank says Tang gets lit up like a Christmas tree. D-Money says he's on the D-backs, but Guardians for Frank here. And Terrell says Tang already got rocked by the Padres in that other game there. I'll go over, though, with Cleveland and Arizona. I think that's it for the baseball. All right, well, let's get ready for some WNBA action tonight. And we've got 5 games. Hey, you see Justin in the chat here? Make sure you join me on the 2-3 Zone show on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. You get a preview of all the WNBA games every day when you check it out with myself, Justin McKelvey, Ron Crawford. We went over this 5-game card, but hey, I'm going to try to find some more picks here for you in the WNBA today. So let's go to it. Trap God liked the over there, I think, in that last game. And 40 James Blows says Bybee's going to need buckshots after watching Naylor smash him there, I think is what he's saying. AOD is here today. All right, let's go to the W here right now. And, well, we got a big one here. Well, supposedly a big one. You have the Lynx and the Liberty here. The Lynx have dominated here pretty much this season over the Liberty, but look at this. The Liberty are favored here right now in this one. And it is a Liberty favored by 3 now. It keeps going up. Taking not much value left here with the Liberty today. Now, there was some question that maybe Napisa Collier could actually return today. Her status has improved. She's upgraded to doubtful, which isn't great, but when you've been out for 3 weeks, maybe today will be the day. Got some other injuries of note here. Isabel Harrison, she's out with a concussion for the Liberty tonight. So, but the Liberty taking a big move, not necessarily personnel related. Just feels like the Minnesota Lynx could be in a position of complacency. They have the best record in the league by far. They could almost lose out and still get the best record. Now, I say it tongue-in-cheek because one of the other teams would have to win all their games probably. Minnesota will finish with the number 1 seed. They'll win a few. They might lose a few. Maybe they'll lose this one because they are playing the Liberty after all, and the Liberty have struggled against Minnesota so far this season. So see what you got here in this one between Minnesota and the Liberty here today with that big line move at this point. It's whether or not you respect it or not. Total here has gone up to 160. It actually was 167, went down to 165, and, well, it's back up to 167 here. Let's go to the chat. You guys seem like you're interested in this one today. Justin had Ramirez bases prop there. Liberty money line and over for Cash Kane. Here's Justin with Kayla McBride over her points and assists at 18 plus. Cash Kane says Liberty gets this one for pride. Yeah, maybe that's what, but I will say this. The Liberty are in a hotly contested race for the number 2 position. And I think that's what's important about this because the Liberty are in 3rd right now. And, you know, if you get 2nd place, you're home field for all the way until the finals there. L40 James Blows says Erica Wheeler rebounds, I think, there. Terrell says he'll take New York because of, what we were saying. Maybe, just maybe here, a little bit of complacency right now, the way things are going with these 2 teams. Yep. All right, let me see here. I think I might go to a prop here in this one right now. And let's see. I'm going to, got a couple of options here. All right. 167. Give me the under, actually. I'm going to just kind of want to give another play out here. Let me look at the numbers here on these props here at this point. All right. Give me the under here in this one. I'm just going to duplicate my play from earlier. I'm going to have to look a little bit deeper in prop land. All right, next one here, the Sun taking on the Mystics. The Mystics are favored by, they're down to 5.5 here, a little bit of a move on the Sun because, here comes the Sun. And the Sun are the worst team in the league with a 6-27 record, or at least record-wise the worst. Chicago's been playing pretty bad. But let's see what you got here in this one with Connecticut and Washington here today. Washington's won a couple in a row here right now, and these games are important for Washington. They're right now sitting in 10th place. They are just a half a game out of the playoff picture here. Basically, it looks like we're coming down to Seattle, LA, and Washington for one playoff spot. Valkyries in Indiana, they're looking pretty good. They don't want to afford a losing streak or anything like that, but I'm going over here in this one with my play with Connecticut and Washington at 158. I'm going to put another point on there, call it 158, but give me the over here with the Sun and the Mystics. All right, and let's see here if we got any more plays from the chat. Let's see. Hey, Timothy Maxberry is here today. Likes Gumake points and rebounds. I'm sure that's probably an over prop. Nobody ever goes under in public chats. So thank you, Timothy. Good to have you. Justin says Sun +3 in the first half. Sun and Mystics over for Justin as well. Cash Kane, Mystics money line and over. And L40 James Blows says take Ariafen over in her rebounds. All right. Next up, the Chicago Sky at home taking on the Storm here. Storm favored by 11.5 total. 158. It's gone up here with the Sky and the Storm. How about that? All right, there we go. So Storm are in 8th place right now, 17-18, a half a game ahead of the Sparks and the Mystics. Look, their focus is to win here. They don't know, well, they're not supposed to know that they're favored by 11 points here in this one, but that's where we stand with these two. And I'm going to go to a prop here in this game. I'm going to go with Cardoso under 8.5 rebounds. You can get a 9.5, I think, in this one at heavily juiced, but I'll go under 8.5 with Cardoso's rebounds here against the Storm. That'll be my play. It'll be a prop here on the show today. Let's see here. Jermaine with Phillies over there. Cash Kane says, could today finally be the day here for Angel Reese? She is questionable here finally in this one. So good news, hopefully, for Reese. Chicago's out of it. They're not going to the playoffs. They haven't been eliminated yet, but by the way, Connecticut has been eliminated from playoff contention. Justin says go with Nneka Ngumake over 16.5 points at -122. Hey, Timothy, really good to have you here. He says take Gabby Williams over 3.5 assists. Next up, the Dream are taking on the Aces here at the Michelob Arena in Las Vegas, and the Aces. Well, right now they are favored by 2, and the total is at 165.5. It feels like right now, so it's gone up here to 2. It's gone up a little bit on the total as well. So, for this Aces team, they can chase. They're trying to chase down teams like the Dream right now. The Aces are in 5th place. They have a lot of momentum, though, having won 9 of their last 10 games coming into this one. But I don't know. Is it a really good spot here for Las Vegas? They're starting to get a little cocky here of late, saying, hey, we knew all the time that we could kick it into gear whenever we needed to. But I don't know if that's the attitude. It's been a hard struggle here, it feels like, for this Las Vegas team just to get rolling here a little bit. What took you so long, I think, is what we're saying. I'm going to take Atlanta today in this one between Las Vegas and the Dream. Give me Atlanta here as my play. +2. Atlanta 22-12. They're in second place currently, a game ahead of the Liberty for that number 2 spot. Vegas has been hot, but I'm going to take the Dream today. I have the Dream today. Jimmy says, hey, Jimmy, nice to see you in there. Justin's going with Cardoso over his points and rebounds. So Justin and I kind of clashing there on Cardoso today. Justin likes the Dream, team total over. And Terrell says maybe Reese really hasn't been injured, and with them out of it, maybe she's not trying to get in there too much. All right, Justin's on the Dream as well. All right, next, one more here. We got the Mercury taking on the Valkyries tonight. How about it? With the Valkyries, look, they're in 7th place right now, a game behind Indiana, a game and a half clear of Seattle, but you don't want to lose, and you are an underdog to this good Phoenix team here right now in this one. So let's see what you've got here with the Valkyries at home. We know how good they have been this season, even though they're teetering on the edge, let's just say. I think that's for certain here. All right, I'll go to the chat. Nothing from you guys probably looks like in this one. Maybe I'll go to a prop here. Nobody's going to make any plays or anything. Let's see here. Okay, here comes some chat. It's Justin. It's just Justin. Nephew says Mercury under. Team total 81.5, and also the Valkyries plus 6.5 here tonight. All right. Well, I guess I got to make my call here in this one. I'm going to go with Sabali. Let me see what my number is on this one. I'm going to take Sabali here. No, I don't know, that 5.5 there, and it's juiced to the over. All right, let me get a few more plays here, and maybe I can decide on this one. Jimbo's here. Nice to see you. Cash Kane, Mercury money line and under. Terrell says Phoenix is playing, they're in that seeding battle with the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 right now. Mercury currently in 4th place here right now. All right, man, I gotta make the call here on this one. All right, give me the over here with Phoenix and Golden State. I think I'm using up my premium here, but I'm going over tonight on the Morning Steam Show. That's it for the WNBA, and that's probably it for our show. And L40 James Blows says it'll be 44-33 at halftime. All right. Hey, that's going to do it for the Morning Steam Show. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Do have one game in La Liga today between Osasuna and Real Madrid. There's also Champions League today as well. So, hey, don't forget to join Mikey Money today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific for pre-gaming. Mikey will get you ready for the primetime action, Major League Baseball, WNBA there. And don't forget, join us tonight for sure for UFC Dana White's Contender Series. Will be here tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific with live companion stream coverage of the 5 fights with the Contender Series tonight. So have a good time there and hopefully pick some winners. like at the beginning of the show, if you want to rewind it, or you can find it underneath the live tab, we did have VB MMA picks. We previewed all 5 fights in the Contender Series. If anything, you got to do a little capping on these, right? You can't just sometimes we all go with the eye test a little bit in the big fights, right? The numbers might say something, but we watched the fight or whatever. In the Contender Series, you got to maybe do a little, even I got to do a little research in preparing for that show. Find out where these guys come from. What is Ultimate Battle? What is Combate Global, right? I know LFA, okay. I know some of these organizations for sure, but I don't know if I know what all these, organizations are. Caged Fury, I'm a little bit familiar with that one, but make sure you join us tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, and 5 Pacific. All right. I think that's enough from you guys in the chat as well. You guys are done there. So don't forget, you can join me over at the Win Club. Get more plays from me every day over at winnable.com/Ramon. Click the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. That'll take you over to my Winnable page. You can get signed up for just 50 cents a day. I know you don't want to pay for picks, but support me here on the channel. This is how you get me coming back every day, and you get a little more content from me with late arriving picks, 30 to 60 minutes before game time. I'm giving plays out here 8 hours before the games even start. So why not get my best plays that I've kind of saved here, didn't give out, and send them out on the Win Club.
It's your boy, Mikey Money. I'm inviting you to join the Sports Money crew on Winnable. Get all of our premium best bet selections.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays sent straight to your phone right when you need them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
So check it out. In fact, Mikey already sent out a little action for the La Liga game today. So check it out here on winnable.com. Someone's going to win my plays right now with this free drawing. And all you got to do is go and get signed up and use the promo code WINNER at checkout to get 1 month free of those plays. See how I do. See if you like the plays that I send out. I did go 3-0 yesterday in the major leagues. So here we go with the drawing today, and it's going to be picks from Dave, Trevor, Zach, Brody, RB, there's Timothy, Nasty Nate, D-Money, Justin, and it is SF Niner. SF Niner. I think SF Niner actually is a subscriber who he got timed out today. There in the chat, he's probably mad at me, but I'm going to give him another month of plays. Hopefully he likes them. And SF Niner, I do appreciate you very, very much, but you're getting a little crazy there in the chat. Maybe you guys are having fun. I just misread it there with Fernando, and I'm trying to run a show, so I can't always focus on the context of the chat. So I didn't know if Fernando looked like he was kind of taking it personally there. A little bit of, these guys in the chat, and what are they, keyboard warriors here? But SF Niner wins. So hopefully, I think SF Niner just going to give him an extra month if I can remember SF Niner's. I don't know if he is in the signups or not, but I do appreciate SF Niner, and SF Niner has won. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the show. There we go. I'll be back tomorrow with more morning steam. Thanks, chat. Great job. And for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
To the window, don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steal. Ramon Scott, sports money. Wake your ass up and let's get to the